Trying something new today, guys, so give me a second as I mentally process how to do this live stream. So there I am. Confirmed, I am live. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my mug. We're going to shrink it down a little bit. Put you in the lower right-hand corner. Hopefully you guys can see me pretty well. How many people are here? Looks like nobody. So, wait a few more seconds to see if we get anybody before I start my demo. Happy New Year, or at least Happy Pre-New Year. Hello, Happy Pre-New Year to everyone. I'm doing something a little bit different, just like I had indicated I was going to do some different stuff this year. This, of course, is a live stream. Be drawing a hyena today. Just a wildlife profile. Forgot how to spell hyena. Hyena. I am good. So I'm going to concentrate a little bit on the drawing so I don't get too distracted. Today we're drawing in Photoshop. So, Photoshop, what a great program. Hopefully you guys can see everything. It looks like you can. Everything looks really good. Hopefully you can hear me well. Looks like you can as well. So I'm drawing on my Cintiq today. I don't think that I had anything set up on my other computer, so that's why I didn't do that. And you guys can see make sure that my ugly mug is in the frame. Okay, so we have a document open, 300 dpi, about 20 inches wide by, I believe, 15 inches high. So we're going to image size. So 20 by 15 at 300 dpi. Okay. Pretty simple to do that. We'll go over here to the right-hand side. See this little layer palette on the right-hand side? Let me make sure that I can see it. Oh, well, there you go. Let's go ahead and move that out of the way. I'm going to move this probably, I don't know, let me see, go over the right-hand side. No, maybe we'll go right there for now. Okay. There we go. So down here, I'll make this a little bit smaller so you guys can see it. For those of you who don't use Photoshop a lot. There we go. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to add a layer because I don't like drawing on the background. Also, what I don't like typically doing is working on a solid white background. Got my reference in front of me. I'll show you my reference really quick. If I can. There we go. There's my reference. Okay. So I'll just be drawing the profile from that. As I try and switch back and forth, maybe there we go. Okay, so hope everybody's New Year celebration is going well. Mine's going well, of course. Okay. So one of the things that I told you guys last time I did a video like this was quick keys. Quick keys are important. You have your drawing hand, and then of course you have your left hand, and over here on the left hand side I have my keyboard. And that's very important because as I start to draw, these two things become kind of symbiotic in their relationship and how they operate. While I draw, I've got my left hand doing the quick keys and moving my screen around, my palette around, and just basically being my second brain, so to say. All right. Working, like I said, on my main work machine today. My main work machine is a Apple product. There's an iMac i7 27-inch HD. It's not the 5K variant, but it is pretty powerful. I think it's 4.5 gigahertz or something ridiculous like that with 32 gigs of RAM. Great machine. I've had it for a while and really haven't had any issues with it. I had a couple hiccups here and there. Whenever you upgrade software, which is always a joy. Upgrading software, yeah. It's a lot better than PCs, though. PCs, I'm constantly having to update drivers and everything else. So whenever I do a piece like this, I'm just having fun. That's basically all I wanted to do today, is just have, a little bit of sketch fun. And I've really wanted to draw a hyena for a while. Not so much a profile. I like the way they have that arched back, and they're always kind of like dragon, they kind of slumber like this. It's always fascinating, to see hyenas. And I saw if you haven't seen it yet, the Jumanji movie, and they've got some CGI hyenas in there, which I thought were unreal. The CGI hyenas in Jumanji, one of the main antagonist characters, the main antagonist character, has some pets, and they just happen to be horrible hyenas. And gosh, I just love them. Nothing against tigers and all that stuff. I'm a huge fan of tigers as well, but man, hyenas, they're creepy, they're greasy, they're gross, they're disgusting, they're ugly, and they're quite scary. Especially in their adulthood. Now in their infancy, when they're younger, they're not that bad, but they're still not an attractive animal, in my opinion. But they're just so cool looking. So what I'm doing right now is I'm literally just roughing in, the different items, the anatomy, and trying to understand where stuff is. I've drawn dogs before, but I haven't really drawn hyenas, right? And even though a hyena is a type of canine creature, it's definitely not a dog, right? I wouldn't want to own a hyena as a pet, just because they're, viciously geared towards hunting and overall just kind of scary. So, a little bit of eye shine in here. And they've got these like soulless looking creepy eyes, right? This cavity that comes here. Very short. What I thought was interesting, whenever I started looking at hyena reference, is even though they are from the canine family, their neck muscles are huge, and they're just constructed different, right? Okay, this needs to go up further. Again, this is just the preliminary sketch, guys. I'm just trying to get the anatomy and the placement of the items in there really just as quickly as I can so I can start rendering and redefining, you know, some of the items here. Okay. So whenever you draw something like this, a lot of times you get lost. It's always good to zoom in and out. You can also, depending on how you work, you can have, where is it at? I don't typically use it. The navigator? No, it's not the navigator. It's not the histogram. Is it the navigator? Yes. Where are you at? Adjustments. Paragraph, clone, source, no. There it is. So the navigator, of course I don't use it, which I probably should. The navigator gives you an opportunity, instead of having to zoom way out, because a lot of times you guys will see me zoom way out and then zoom back in. When you have the navigator, it gives you, you know, that preset. So I can basically, depending on where I want it, I have it like right here. And then, you know, if I zoom way in, the image on the right-hand side is not going to change. So it gives you already that zoom out quality. And a lot of times that helps in silhouette. It helps, you know, you gauge where stuff is supposed to be in the illustration. And we're going to make him a little bit smaller on the page. So it definitely helps you overall. So we're going to rough in some of the teeth here, just as an image, not an image, but just as a shape. We're going to have that tongue come down. I have these teeth. I'm talking too much and I'm wasting my valuable stream time here because I don't want to be streaming too much today. All right, here's the neck. So again, we're going to jump out. We're going to look. There's a huge muscle that comes down all the way to right here. Here's the edge. His neck's really long. This fur patch comes up here. I kind of wish I had streamed the gorilla I did a while back, and because I really like the way that turned out. Obviously, still in sketch phase. You know, I didn't go in there and quote unquote render something to the umpteenth level. You know, his fur comes around. You get these wrinkles. This huge jaw muscle. This jaw comes up, right? It comes around. You got this huge mandible muscle right here. It comes up and it goes right over his head, right? And it's just kind of like, that's why you have this part right here. Dogs' heads, typically, their jaw muscles come up and they wrap around, similar to bears. If you ever look at a grizzly bear skull, it looks very interesting because you're like, why are there these huge cavities on top of the head that are missing? It's like, why would you have these divots? It kind of comes up like this, and those huge cavities house the muscles for the jaw, which I always thought was fascinating. I've got an abnormal, it's not fear, I think it's a respect thing for bears, and I think I always have. You know, since I worked, the nose is completely wrong. Ever since I worked as an illustrator for a company that did work for the national parks, I had to do work for the national parks, and I had to do research for grizzly bears, black bears, you know, and bears overall. And what inadvertently happens, of course, whenever you do research, is you come across bear attacks. And my gosh, I've seen so many bear attacks that it's quite disturbing, to be honest with you. So here's the eye. The eye actually comes up. It's a little bit bigger than what you think it is. So you've got this bulge right here, right? You've got this, comes right here. Sample, maybe put a little right there. Come back. And what I'm doing is I'm hitting my option So I'll move it around with the space bar while I'm drawing. And then if I want to sample something really quick, I'll hit my Option key and I'll sample things. You know, I can sample black, whatever. You know, come back so I don't have to sit there and go double click. Ooh, here. Okay. You know, if I'm just doing a sketch, then I make it pretty quick. Okay, so this comes up. So I've got these two canines that come down. You know, one kind of in front of the other. Right? And these huge jaw, these huge canines, incisors, right? That are right there. Got a couple teeth right here. Got this second, looks like, I don't know what that's called. I'm not a dentist, obviously, so I don't know terminologies. We're just going to call it the other tooth. Actually, it's a little bit bigger. It comes here because I'm looking at my reference and it comes from the eye and it comes down and it's almost in line with the front of the eye. Ooh, what's going on with my computer? There it goes. Sometimes my video card freaks out. It's not a new Mac, it is a little bit older, so I'll apologize for that. Yeah, it's like right that size. Okay. I got that tooth that comes here, here. There's that bottom lip. Here, and there's the bottom of the neck. Got this weird whisker. Comes out. Folds. Okay. Comes up and it comes down. And here's the fur. Oh, somebody came and went. Now we have 3 people. There was 4. First there was 4 and now there's 3. That's fine. Okay. Here's the back of the ear. Comes like this. I had somebody the other day, I had posted a video, I think it was 8 minutes long. And they're like, if you keep the videos to like 5 minutes, you'll get more views. And I'm like, well, yeah, I don't know about that because I make videos of all lengths. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, hour, hour and a half, 5 minutes, well, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. I've made so many different types of videos, lengthwise, that, you know, frankly, I don't know what the formula is. And if somebody knows what the formula is and can determine what the formula is for YouTube, then that would be awesome, because I really don't. Most of the time I just do a video and post. And I did start messing around a little bit more with the keywords, so maybe that'll help. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, so I'll have that come here. That a little bit smaller here, a little bit smaller. Okay. Branches come down slightly. Elements here in the background, maybe push back a little bit, right? So I think this is up a little bit too high, so we're gonna have here, we're gonna have it come down. Okay, got that huge, so it comes here. Okay. Fur seems to be all going this direction, right? Okay, so it actually comes, I'm looking at it. It's like whenever you look in the mirror and you're like, ha, somebody smiles, ha. Of course, hyenas laugh, which is also another disturbing thing. Laughing hyenas, oh, disturbing. See, I think this isn't really where I want it to be. So what you can do is you hit the selection tool or the lasso tool, magic lasso. Let's come here. I'm gonna select that area. I'm gonna hit transform. I'm gonna click inside, I'm gonna click warp. So what warp's gonna do is it's gonna allow me to warp that area just slightly. Deselect. Return, deselect. Deselect. Okay. Yeah. Again, this is just the preliminary stage. All right. Come here. Always been one whenever I'm drawing. I'll try to emulate. Oh, okay, see, I see the problem. See, it's right there. Oops. Needs to come like that. Okay. Oh, a little bit more. My eye is too back too far. Okay. So let's go here. Got some little things coming out there. And you got this, it's like the bunched up, like whenever you do your nose like this. Oh, I can feel it. It all bunches up and your eyes go a little bit tighter. Here. Right. A method to the madness. Yeah, there is. So somebody just asked me about the construction method because this looks like a mess. You know, basically what I do, and I said this on a video a while back, and I do have a construction video. What I basically do is I'll think in terms of form, right? If I have a shape, right, which is similar to what I'm working on right now, I'll rough it out like this. Okay. Okay. So now we have that very simplified. What I'll do is, since now I want to think in terms of form, I got to think in terms of three-dimensionality. I have to kind of put my brain in that thinking of 3D mode. So I'm thinking construction lines. It's very complex, right? The image or the form itself is very complex. It's got multiple planes. Now you can simplify, which is kind of what I do, right? So here's the eye. And I start putting, very simple lines to kind of help me understand. Here's the eye. Here's the top of the head. The top of the head is flat, so it's got like a flat plane. So then whenever it comes here, it comes out a little bit. Here's another plane, and then it comes in, right? And here's another plane, and here's another plane. So it's all these intricate planes that I'll use my construction lines in trying to determine depth, trying to determine loft, trying to determine where things are and the underlying structures, right? So you come back here and you can see I've kind of done that, even though it kind of looks like a mess. I keep looking back at my reference and trying to correct the anatomy, where stuff is underneath. And then it's covered in fur, so it's kind of deceiving. And, another thing, like here, I'll give you an example. So right now I'm looking at the ear, okay? So the ear is, it's basically, I've got this box, okay? It kind of looks like this, right? Actually, I'm going to do it in red so you guys can see it better. Let's do that in red, okay? Okay, so I've got this box, this perspective box. We all have drawn perspective boxes before, okay? The thing is, you're not drawing a geometric shape, okay? A geometric shape. You're drawing an organic shape. So what you got to do is basically now, my box changes a little bit. It's still kind of a box, sort of a box. Like this, okay? So now I've got to think, if you look at the structure of the ear, it comes and it wraps and it goes inward. So in the front of the box, now I'm going inside of that short shape and form, and it comes around, right? And now it comes to the forefront or the front of the box. So I still have the thought of how this box has this plane in the front, and here's the side of it, and the ear is going to wrap around and go behind to where I can't see it. Okay, so let's get rid of a layer here. So now what I'm doing is and I'm thinking this, so I don't want to draw the box per se, because that would be, kind of a waste. Go back to black. Okay, so okay. Make sure we got absolute black. So now what I'm doing is I'm looking back at the ear, and I have this nice wrap around. It comes up and it goes inside of the ear, and I've got this one shape that comes here. Okay, and I've got this fur that comes out. And that's the furthest I'm going to go with that at this particular point in time. Okay, so now I got this other shape, this fur shape that comes up. It's like, that's the technical term. You guys always need to remember that. Right? Maybe put a couple spots here and there, because they have, camouflage. Again, I'm just putting in some value, because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go back. I'm going to start correcting things. So like this eye comes up. You got this. And you can barely see it. Now, if I had the skeleton, that'd be a different thing. So it comes up, and here's that corner of the ear. It comes up, and the ear, comes here. And it comes around, and it goes kind of the back of his head. Right? You got all these disgusting fur. They're kind of like greasy. They're greasy. They're greasy, nasty animals. Oh, I lost another person, so now we're down to 2. Yay! Popularity! Okay, so the nose needs to be corrected. Okay, so this is kind of where I'm at, right? So that's wrong. It needs to come here. No, a little bit thinner. See, my brush was too big. This is a texture brush, so what happens is, if you make it too big, it does that. It's like, I don't want to draw anymore. It's too big. Okay. Whoops. Yeah, video card issues. It's because I'm streaming. Okay, so let's go back. Let's look. Okay, first of all, this is too small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start messing around with the overall. Yeah, it needs to be a little bit bigger. Okay, that's not bad. Whoops. So now, in terms of composition, right, since I've got all this lines and all this black going on, how do you make any sense of what you really want to do, especially if you're trying to come up with something pretty cool, right? So he's looking off this direction. Whoop. Okay, his body posture. You know what? There's one of the big reasons why it's not gelling for me. It needs to be up a little bit further. All these go a certain way. So raising, yeah, there we go. This needs to go down. So let's make it go down. Yeah, so this whole part right here, we're gonna have that go warp. We're going to make that go down. Yeah, there we go. Okay. That's not bad. All right, so I've got my tree, but I'm not going to do a tree. I'm going to do leaf, or like these stalks. Okay, so I'm using this to kind of push your eye this direction, because everything's going from left, or I'm sorry, from right to left. Everything's going this direction. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to help push it, right? These are going to be contrasty. That'll be probably one of the first places you go with your eye. Then we're going to come here. We're going to have a little bit here and there. All right. And to now, see, it's like a shape, right? That's too big. Shape, shape, shape goes this way. You got opposing lines here, this way, right? This way, and this way. This way. I know that's kind of ridiculous whenever somebody says that, you know, you're just going to do this, this, and this, and this, and it'll be perfect. But, oh, thank you. Drawing Passion Channel, nice to see you on this wonderful New Year's Day. Yeah, all these, like you can feel it. You can feel it. I got that nose that comes here, right there, around. Okay, so we're at that spot now in the drawing where I'm going to put it on transparency, basically. I'm going to chuck it down to probably 35%. Okay? So then we're going to add a layer on top of that. Okay, we're going to save. I don't think I've saved yet. Scary. You ever done that? Worked for like an hour and a half, you didn't have it saved yet. H-Y-E-N-A. I'm not even sure if I'm spelling hyena correctly. Okay, so there we are. Come back to my favorite brush. For those of you who are interested in this brush, let's go ahead and zoom in. You can see I've got my opacity. I can, jack my opacity down, which is really cool. You can do that in any Photoshop brush, basically. This has to do with pressure sensitivity, the flow, and then you can taper. This is your taper right here, right? So right now it's not tapered. You click on this little thing right here, and then we have the taper effect. I have tilt on as well. At least I thought I did. Where's my taper? Brush settings. Shape. Okay, now we're tilt. So you can see it as I turn, I'm tilting my stylus. So it gives you it gives you a better feeling of, in terms of drawing. So now I get to refine. I still want that rough quality of the drawing. I love having the underdrawing underneath. A lot of people sit there and they'll, oh gosh, yeah, it's got to be perfect. No, I don't do that. What I do is I basically go in and I try to have that, the same kind of painterly feel to it. Whoops, deselect. Because ever since I can remember, I've always wanted, to just have a painterly style to what I do. And go there. Right? Oh, the fur comes back in a certain direction. And I'm not here to draw all the fur because that would take forever. And I don't want to use a brush per se. So it comes here, got that, comes around like that. And then the eye, it comes in and then it goes around. So it goes in and then it comes around like that. All right, you got that other lid comes around. Comes around like that. A little bit smaller. Yeah, it's kind of angled up now that I'm looking at it, because it comes right here and then it goes like this. Yeah, it comes around the eye because it's kind of bunched up and squinting a little bit. Right? That eye comes here. You see a little bit of the white, just a little bit. Right? And you got this nice curve to kind of accentuate the eye cavity just ever so slightly. And then I've got this nice eye shine here. I'm going to color that in, shade that in. Right? Had somebody pass away today that was an inspiration to me. If you haven't learned yet, unfortunately, Sid Mead passed away today. If you don't know who Sid Mead is, please Google him. Concept artist, illustrator, futurist, concept artist for Star Wars, Tron, gosh, so many films, Blade Runner. He was really one of the artists that pushed me into drawing. You know, I've had so many influences in my life in art, but he's definitely one that really was influential. You know, I remember looking at some of the incredible artwork that he did. This goes up. Here's that talk. And some of the Star Wars books, you know, when I was younger, and I had concept art books, and you know, the art of Star Wars, or you know, I'd always watch the extras, and they would always show Sid's illustration work, and you know, to have somebody as influential as him, obviously, you know, we all pass away at some point in time, unfortunately, but you know, I will definitely not forget Sid, and I definitely give condolences to his family for their loss. All right, so we come here, we got that round part right here. Yeah, wonderful illustrator, artist, concept person. I wish I could have met him. I told him, just by, you know, him doing and being him. Just by being you, you changed my life. You know, that's one thing that I think that doesn't get said enough for people that influence us in a positive way. For those of you that, oh, we got 5 people. Oh, hi, Michael. Thanks for your videos. Try to watch them all. Very appreciative. Oh, you are welcome. Whatever I can do to help, it is my pleasure. Okay, so now we come down. Oh, the teeth. All right, so we're going to come here. Yeah, here. There. I'm going to zoom out. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Kind of goes like that. Get that fat here. Okay, a lot of this is in shadow, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to shadow her in just a little bit. And a little highlight on the bottom here we're going to keep. And we're going to shadow this in slightly. Okay. Yeah, that's vicious. Vicious. I can actually feel myself doing it. I probably look foolish. You're a fool. Okay, we're going to go back to the ear. Okay, so when I'm looking at the ear, it comes... Oh, this is wrong. Okay, so let's go here. Let's have this head come up a little bit further. Comes here. papers. Comes here. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. So now we come here. So I wanted to get that established because that's going to really determine this right here. Because you're going to have that skin fold that's going to come down and help accentuate this jawline. I don't know the anatomy of a hyena. It probably would have behooved. It's always a fun word to say. It makes you sound smart. Yeah, you know, it would have behooved me to learn a little bit of the anatomy of the hyena before I decided to embark on this wonderful visual endeavor. Okay, so you've got this line that comes here. That's the top of his head. It's going to come through, down. Okay, so what I like to do a lot of times, here, down, just a hint. What I'm going to do now is this ear actually comes around. Comes around. And you got the second part that comes here. Right? Yeah. Nice. I work around a lot. You guys can see that. I work around in the it's dark. Okay, so when oops, oh, wrong one. Dark. There we go. Nice. One of the guys that I watch, and he's on YouTube, is Aaron Blaze. He's wonderful to watch. If you guys don't watch him, you really should. He's a great teacher. I've never met him personally. I've always wanted to. He also, without even knowing it, really influenced me in doing what I want to do. Because I remember, and going where I, ended up going to college. Because I remember reading in the Aladdin book, he was the principal character designer and animator on Raja, and from Aladdin. And I remember seeing that in the book, and I'm like, dang, he's so young. I think he said he was like 20-something years old whenever he was an animator. Of course, that's what I always wanted to do, be an animator. Not complaining about my current, situation, living in the mountains, drawing animals, designing toys. But it's just, something, there's always that one thing that you wanted to do. So now I've got this eye placed where I want it. So I bring this down, and I've got that other canine, or whatever you want, whatever tooth that is. So we'll bring that here. Comes around. And it's like, comes here. Here's the other tooth. All right, comes like that. Got the gum line. And two, you'll notice if you ever watch artists draw, because I did this early on as I burp. One of the things that I do is I'll squint. Squinting, what that does is it pushes everything to silhouette and value. So whenever you squint, you can pick shadows out really fast. A little pro tip for you guys. For all of you that, it comes down, here's another tooth. There's a tooth right there, because you got this gum line right here that you don't want to forget about. Because if you draw the teeth coming out without the gum line, it looks weird. Again, I'm not sitting there, I'm not noodling, I'm not in there going, I'm getting this rough sketch in for you guys, so whenever I go to paint, you can really understand where it comes from. So the biggest canine in the mouth comes forward just slightly, and it comes here, and it stops right there. Right, and you got this little itty bitty guy that comes down right there. Anyway, yeah. Okay, and you can see some of the other teeth that come here, and this one comes down. It doesn't quite follow the silhouette of the front tooth, and it's in shadow. See, like that, because his head is here tilted and it's like that. So the tooth that's further away is actually lower. So then you're going to see these teeth that really actually mirror, but not exactly. And they're going to be in silhouette, right? You got this other tooth that comes down, comes here, because it mirrors this one right here. So we're going to have to go further back. Actually, I might have messed that up slightly. Right here, and then it comes further back. Right there. That's the, yeah, I was like, I'm gonna kill you. Gonna eat your face off. That's not the artistic terminology that is typically used whenever I draw. It's not, I'm gonna eat your face off. Okay, we're gonna color in this nose. Give it some value. We're gonna go here. Here. All right. Here. And I'm just trying to show you guys that, you know, you can put in a lot of, oops, that's a little bit too dark. You can put in a lot of, you know, a lot of stuff very quickly whenever you work digitally. You know, oh, thank you. You know, you can put in a lot of really great, especially working digitally. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It's a problem. You know, having a singular mind, which is what I have. It's hard for me to, you know, do 10 things at once. Okay, so we've got the lower part. So let's go ahead. What I like to do is this arc right here. There's an arc, invisible. It's an invisible arc that you guys need to realize exists. But it is. It's kind of a, it's hard to describe that feeling, especially, you know, if you're not used to drawing. There are certain, let's curve this around, because the gum is very interesting. So it looks like in hyenas, you got this gum line right here that comes around. It comes around, and then the first tooth, I can't believe it starts right there. And then it points, right? And then it comes here, and it can little dip right there. Comes around. Okay, so now, zoom in and out. Okay, so what I want to do is this tooth comes this way, okay? This tooth is going to come this way, okay? Because it's not a complete even arc like that. I'm not going to connect to the other one right here. The other one actually juts out right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the back and go forward. You've got these three teeth that come right here. Again, typically I like to draw where I want to go first. And of course, that's why you have a sketch dummy. So I'm just going to have to wing it. So I've got this other tooth that comes here. Another tooth that comes here. Here. You're like, why don't you just turn your canvas? Okay. Why don't I just turn my canvas? Wouldn't that be easier? Yes, and these back tooth are fascinating. They've got some sharpness to them, but there's also some dullness. See, I don't like doing that because it completely eliminates my understanding of where stuff really needs to go. So let's go up. Here's the other one here. Okay, and that tongue comes here and down. There we go. This gum comes up, so looks like he's got a broken tooth on my reference. Very fascinating. Probably because he's such a stink pot. Oh, I think my wife's coming home. I can hear my truck. I don't know what time it is. What time is it? 2 o'clock. Yeah, she's probably coming home. Let's hurry up, we gotta hurry up. Just kidding. Okay, so let's go ahead and angle this tooth up. There we go. Zoom out. Nice. Okay, got the other tooth kind of hiding on the other side. A little bit higher, and then he's got these he's got these other teeth kind of jutting out just a little bit. And he's got that bottom lip. Yes, dogs do have lips. Okay, so I'm not going to really define, I'm not going to sit here and do this. Okay, that's not, no. You don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give an indication of where it comes here. He's got his jawline that comes like that. Okay. He's got some fur. Okay, a little spotted here and there. Because what I'm going to do is whenever I go and I actually go underneath. Okay, so there we go. That's good. These are a little bit silhouette. So I'm going to put some value in here. Little bit of value. Little bit of value. Here and there. Oh, I'm going to have to pause you guys. Hello. Not much. I'm doing a video right now. I'm streaming. Sounds like a plan. Okay. Awesome. Okay. 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 All right, babe. Love you. Bye.
Was that Mama?
Okay. Yes, it was. Okay, so back to what I was talking about down here on the bottom. Okay. So I've got this curve that comes up here like this. Okay. Up, and now I want to draw the lower part of this hanging skin. It's fur, but you have to understand it's still got gravity affecting it. Got some little folds right here. Good, good. Come here, and I've got these folds. 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And now I'll just start putting little indications of fur. You know, I've watched a lot of students and people and artists in general that sit there and want to draw like they do this, and they don't know how to handle fur. A little indication of what you need to remember when it comes to fur. Less is more, okay? The less you do, just put some directional lines, you know, like I'm doing. Little directional lines here and there. That is really going to establish where the fur is going. And trust me, from somebody that, you know, has a really hard time with fur, it's important that you not draw everything. Okay. Good. Okay, where am I at? Okay, so we're gonna come back here. Again, you know, I was talking just literally 2 seconds ago about not drawing the fur, but it is important that you know and understand how the fur lays and it reacts and how gravity affects it and how you know, in terms of direction and how, you know, the direction goes. So like here, right behind the ear, I've got this little, what I'm going to do, and I'll show you guys here. Okay. Because it blends in with the rest of the fur. So I'm going to come here, and then it starts to kind of go in its own deal. So now we're going to come here. We're going to go a little bit more. Good. Nice. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, that I've established kind of what I want to. And two, now that I'm thinking, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I have a muscle that goes like this, and a muscle that goes like that. So what's going to happen? I'm not going to sit here and do this. I have to do it on my brain because it'll be distracting. It won't look right. So I'll do it with fur. But I won't sit there and do it like this. It'll be slight. Just an indication is sometimes all you need. Right? It's all you need. See, this needs to come like this. Nice. Okay? Okay, good. Okay. Alrighty. Not too bad right now. Oh. Mr. Hyena. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? 1, 2. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the taper, because what I want to do is I want to put a little bit of value right in this area. Just a little bit of value. Right? Just a little bit of value. Get in there, give a little bit of value. Okay, I'm going to go back to my layer. I'm going to go down just a little bit further. Get rid of that just a little bit more. So now we're going to come back. That's the underlying layer. That's my sketch drawing. As my nose itches. Okay, so I'm just going to go back in. Okay, good. Good. Okay, what I was saying earlier about the brushes, this particular brush is actually free. If you go to creatureartteacher.com, you sign up for his newsletter, and he being Aaron Blaze, gives you this particular brush for free, which is sweet. This is such a cool brush. I've used it for a lot of drawings. What's great about it is the sensitivity, pressure sensitivity is really cool. Let me put our taper back on. There we go. Got to make sure to do that. And it's really good for a lot of applications. For rough sketching. Excuse me. I need a drink of water before I yak. Just kidding. I'm not going to yak. So let's go ahead and color this in. Color. Put value in there. Nice. How many do I have? Oh, I got 4. 4 people. Thank you, all 4 of you. Most appreciated. Okay, so I'm not going to go full color on this one today. What I'm going to do, since I just wanted to kind of show you kind of the basics of drawing something in Photoshop, is eventually, oh, I'm not going to do that. So now that I've got this blocked in, he's got like a big patch of yucky right here. Stains of his fresh kills. Because you know, these are disgusting creatures. Except the baby ones. The baby ones are super cute. I don't know what happens between adulthood. It's like they become horrid. Once the wife comes home, it gets quite noisy in the kitchen. Of course it is. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. No, I'm not. What happens, of course, today is being, whatchamacallit, let's put a few little whisker shots in there. New Year's Eve, we're going and doing some fun stuff this evening, so we've got a lot of prep to do. I just wanted to get this stream out to you guys today. Yeah. Let's go ahead and color this bottom part of the ocular cavity. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit darker right here. Good. Okay. Color that in slightly. Nice. All right. Got some like this. Okay. Dark. Okay, good. Down here. You know, I remember way back in the, sorry about that, way back in the day, you know, doing drawings and stuff, and somebody would see after everything is done, wow, dude. And then, you know, it didn't take you a lot of time to do it. Nope. And people are like, wow, how long did that take you, bro? I'm like, 30 minutes. Oh my gosh, that's insane fast. Nah. No, not really. You know, the thing is, and this is what I tell people all the time, it takes a lot of drawing to get rid of all the junk that you have. And sorry about all the dinging, guys. I just want to leave that. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of bad drawings to be able to draw good drawings. You know, it takes practice, which a lot of, you know. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of this. No more taper. We're going to put some spots. Spots. Little spots here. Little spots there. Little spots. Again, this is, you know, this is an underpainting, right? We're still in the underpainting stage. You know, doing, let's get a couple spots right here. That would be cool. Okay, so this is really dark back here. We're gonna have that come around. Very frustrating. Okay. Woohoo, I got 6 people! Whoop whoop, hey 6 people! Alright. For those of you just visiting, I am drawing a hyena today. Hyena. I don't know why. I just like hyenas. I like wildlife in general. Got this perpetual desire to do wildlife, and I want to possibly draw it traditionally. Been looking into pricing canvases, because that's, you know, that's what I did in college. I painted in oil and acrylic. Wait, bro, you did traditional art? Yeah, I've transitioned over to digital. I did that. I transitioned over to digital pretty early. You know, pretty early. I'm not going to date myself, but it was, golly. Oh, stop the madness. I just want the madness to stop. I keep getting texted. If I don't know if you guys can hear that, but my apologies. Anyway, so I think what I'm going to do for you guys, we're just going to do some simple, we're going to put a little bit of value behind my sketch. So we're going to put, let's see, a little bit darker. There we go. We're going to go ahead and block this in. To kind of, there we go. because I want to separate it out from the underlying sketch, or at least part of it, right? Okay. So I want to leave. I want to leave this conversation. There we go. Sorry about that, you guys. I've been part of a group text pretty much all day, and they're relentless. All right, so what I'm doing right now is I'm just literally blocking in some simple value. I'm going to show you guys. It's not a trick. It's very well known. Let's go ahead and put some taper on this. Ah, taper's already on. Good. Yep. Okay. Good. Okay, we're going to come over here. You see the brush is quite large and it's starting to lag a little bit. It's probably because my video card is a little bit older and the computer itself is not that new. I mean, it's still pretty powerful, but when you have a brush that's this large, you start having issues. Okay. Boo-boo! Where's Boo-boo?
He is downstairs fighting people.
Okay, good. All right. So that is what I'm doing. Just putting in some simple value really quick.
Hello, Mama.
How long have both of those vehicles been running?
I don't know.
All right. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do the rest on time lapse and post, and we'll put some color in there and let you guys enjoy and watch and see. And hey, happy 2020! Your pick makes me feel like it Bellins in Witcher 3.
Did you guys eat dessert already?
I love
No, I
drawing a
don't.
baby with sweet slave
Did
making
my
shit.
cup?
Cool.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you guys for visiting. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. And I'll go ahead and post the rest of this on the video
No pizza, no.
as a finish. So hopefully you guys got something today. The next time stream will be timed, probably about an hour and a half or 2 hours. This was kind of an experiment, so hopefully you guys enjoyed. So thank you guys, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Who swept?
I did.